International friendships can be tricky. India's old bond with Russia was steady, but in 2025, everything changed. Trade exploded to nearly $69 billion, rewriting what many saw as a Cold War relic. As the West sanctioned Moscow, India seized a chance to reshape its future. Now both nations aim for $100 billion in trade by 2030. As 2025 ends, it's clear this is just the beginning. Before we dive into oil and missiles, let's talk payment systems. Because if you can't pay, trade stops cold. After Western sanctions hit Russia, India and Russia tried a rupee-based payment system. The idea, Indian importers pay in rupees, Russians use those rupees to buy Indian goods. But the trade was lopsided. India bought tons of Russian oil. Russia bought little from India. Russia ended up with a mountain of rupees it couldn't use, like being paid in gift cards for a store you don't shop at. Russia balked, payments stalled, and trade nearly collapsed. This failure proved that ditching the dollar isn't enough. You need a balanced, sustainable system. It also highlighted the power of the US dollar and Western financial networks. The dollar's dominance means the US can cripple countries by cutting them off. The rupee payment fiasco forced India and Russia to innovate, building a more resilient financial bridge. It was a wake-up call. Without a robust system, the whole partnership could unravel. So, they went back to the drawing board. How did India-Russia trade go from crisis to $69 billion? One word: oil. When the West sanctioned Russia, Moscow needed new buyers and offered steep discounts. India, needing to import over 85% of its oil, seized the opportunity. Buying discounted Russian crude cushioned India's economy, controlled inflation, and saved billions. This wasn't just about cheap fuel, it was economic statecraft. The West protested, but India stood firm, prioritizing its own development and energy security. India's stance: it will make independent choices, even if it ruffles feathers in Washington. The payoff? Cheaper oil, a stronger economy, and a competitive edge for Indian refiners. At a recent summit, Putin pledged uninterrupted energy supplies, cementing Russia's role as India's key supplier. Energy is now the central pillar of this revitalized partnership. After the rupee payment fiasco, India and Russia built a new solution: a dual currency payment system. Now, 96% of their trade is settled in rupees and rubles, bypassing the US dollar. Indian importers pay for Russian goods in rupees. Russian importers are encouraged to buy Indian products and pay in rubles. Central banks coordinate to keep the system balanced. This isn't just technical, it's a geopolitical statement. A move toward de-dollarization. For Russia, it's a lifeline. For India, it saves dollar reserves and boosts strategic autonomy. It's like having a backup generator for the economy. The system's success depends on balanced trade and political will. It's not perfect, but it's a game changer. Proof that alternatives to the dollar are possible. Other nations are watching closely. The Rupee-Ruble highway is now the essential plumbing of the Indo-Russian partnership, but keeping it running smoothly is an ongoing challenge. Oil grabs headlines, but defense is the bedrock of Indo-Russian ties, and it's evolving fast. India isn't just buying Russian weapons anymore. It wants joint R&D and production, aligning with its Make in India push. The S-400 missile deal is a prime example. Controversial, but India stands firm. Now the focus is on co-producing future military tech and deepening cooperation. But to make the partnership sustainable, trade must diversify. India is pushing to export more pharmaceuticals, IT, agriculture, and textiles to Russia. With Western companies leaving Russia, Indian businesses see new opportunities. Diversification is critical for the Rupee-Ruble system to work long-term. Recent agreements are making it easier for Indian goods to enter Russia. Talks for a free trade deal with the Eurasian Economic Union could open vast new markets. The goal, a stable, mutually beneficial economic relationship. Trade needs more than goods and money, it needs efficient routes. Geography has always been a hurdle for India-Russia trade. Enter the International North-South Transport Corridor, INSTC, a 7,200-kilometer network slashing transit times between India, Iran, Central Asia, and Russia. It bypasses Western-controlled choke points, creating a new artery for Eurasian trade. New maritime links, like the Eastern Maritime Corridor from Chennai to Vladivostok, are also in play. The Arctic is the next frontier. Melting ice is opening up resources and shipping lanes. Russia controls much of the Arctic and wants partners. India sees a chance to secure future energy. India is investing in Russian Arctic projects, aiming for a strategic foothold. These connectivity projects are complex and costly, but the political will is strong. Together, they're physically re-engineering Eurasia's trade landscape. What does all this mean for India's place in the world? It's walking a high-stakes tightrope. On one side, deepening ties with sanctioned Russia. On the other, maintaining crucial US and European partnerships. This is strategic autonomy, engaging all sides, picking partners based on national interest. India just hosted Putin, sending a clear message. It makes its own decisions. Meanwhile, Indian diplomats reassure the West of shared values and cooperation. Ties with Russia give India leverage. It can't be taken for granted by any bloc. This autonomy lets India act as a bridge between Russia and the West, elevating its global status. But the balancing act is risky. A misstep could alienate either side. Lean too far toward Russia, and the West could retaliate. Lean too far west, and India loses its strategic space. For now, India's balance holds, but global events keep testing its limits. Every new crisis shakes the rope a little more. As promising as this partnership looks, the risks are real. The biggest problem, a massive trade imbalance. India imports far more from Russia than it exports. If India can't boost exports, the Rupee-Ruble system stays fragile. Western sanctions are another threat. The US has already raised tariffs and targeted Russian oil giants supplying India. If sanctions hit Indian banks or refineries, the economic fallout could be severe. India is already hedging by cutting Russian oil imports and diversifying suppliers. The payment system itself is vulnerable, bespoke, fragile, and dependent on trust. Any breakdown could freeze billions in trade, and the foundation, discounted Russian energy, may not last forever. If global markets shift or the Ukraine conflict ends, those discounts could vanish. Still, this trade surge is a defining feature of India's 2025 foreign policy. It's a bold gamble that's paid off so far, but the path ahead is full of challenges. If India can navigate them, this partnership could reshape its destiny. But that's a big if.